All right, hello and welcome. This is going to be our homework help video for the homework titled Equation to Table, Pattern, and Graph. We'll just do one of these two to start. I'll pick the first one. They're pretty darn similar. We are given an equation, and we should be able to take this equation and graph it, write a table for it, and create a pattern for it. The first one I actually want to do is the table. I think that's the easiest place to start. And so I look at my equation. I've got to pull out two values. I pull out this first value of 3. That's the number multiplying my x, so that's going to be my m value, or rate of change. So m, or rate of change, is what that's going to stand for. The next value, the only other number in here, is that 2. That's going to represent my b value, or my starting value. And from just those two values, which I pull out of my equation, I can fill in this whole table. So what is meant by starting value? Well, it's not actually the top value in the table, it's the number across from 0. So I think of these numbers as being backwards in time from this starting point, and then these positive numbers as being forward in time. Now we can apply that rate of change of 3. As long as this is counting by ones, then on this side it's going to count by my rate of change, 3. So this is going up by ones, so this has got to go up by 3s. So 2, the next number would be 5. Add another 3, I'd be up to 8. Add another 3, I'd be up to 11. Now what if I want to go backwards? Well, I need to figure out what numbers that if I added 3 to them would equal these numbers, or I could just subtract 3. Has the same effect. So a -1 right here, because a -1 plus 3 gets me to that 2, or just 2 minus 3 gets me that -1. Next one's a -4. Next one is a -7. So notice that same pattern, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. All the way. Let's take this table and graph it. I'm going to treat each of these rows as an ordered pair. Start with that first one, -3, -7. I go to my origin. I go 3 units left because it's negative. I go 7 units down. I make a point. -2, -4. Point right there. The next one is, I think, -1, -1. 0, 2. 1, 5, and 2, 8, and I'm off the graph. So there's a very special point in here that I just want to make sure to emphasize, and it's the point where this line that connects these dots crosses our y-axis. That is that point right there, and it's at elevation 2. Well, that's special because that is our starting value. Our starting value is 2. We see it crosses the y-axis at 2. So another word for starting value is y-intercept. Now for the pattern, the 0th figure, I got to look at row 0 to figure out how many boxes it should have. Well, it should have 2, right? Our starting value is 2. We start with 2 boxes. Then how many boxes do we add each time? We add 3. So I redraw the previous figure, and then I add 3 more boxes, and I just like to add them right on top. I think it's the easiest way to do it. For the next one, I redraw that figure that we see right there. So these are identical, and then I add 3 more boxes because our rate of change is 3, adding 3 each time. Now I've got to redraw that figure. All right, they're identical. I add 3 more boxes. And now let's just double check. Figure 3 should have 11 boxes according to my table. Let's count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It worked out. Now the backside of this homework is not necessarily stuff from this unit, but it's from previous units that might show up in our current unit or future units. So we have to remember how to do things like evaluate each expression. Well, this just means simplify. I'll do this, I'll do them both. When I simplify, I'm going to do what's in the parentheses first. I'm going to combine that 1 minus 1 to be a 0. Then I'm going to do my multiplication. Because it's not associated with this, I can do it at the same time. 3 times 2 becomes 6. So now I've got 6 minus 3 minus 0. And now I just do these steps one at a time. 6 minus 3 is 3. Minus 0 is just still 3. So 3 is our answer. Over here, this fraction creates an implied parentheses around the top of the fraction, the 18 times 2. So I have to do that first. So I rewrite everything, but I combine that 18 times 2, and that becomes a 36. Now I can do well, I can do the multiplication first, multiply this to the top, or do the division. I'm going to choose to do the division because it looks like it's a little bit easier. The 36 divided by 6 is a 6. Now let's do the multiplication. We get 36. Evaluate using a value given. So if y equals 3, 3 can replace y. If z equals 6, 6 can replace z. If there's multiple z's, they would all become 6's. Let's write this out now. 3 plus 36 minus 6. Add these first. 39 minus 6. Now do the subtraction. 33. All right. Just do 2 more. Simplify. Both of these rely on distribution. We show distribution with rainbow arrows like that. Negative 40a plus 40. Negative times a negative is a positive. And we got some to solve. First thing is I look for grouping symbols. Then I look for some variables on the same side. I do have some. This 2n and this n can combine to be a 3n. Minus 4 equals negative 13. Now I've got constants on both sides. I want to move those constants away from the variable. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides to move everything away from this variable. I've got 3n equals negative 9. Divide by 3, n equals negative 3. All right, well, that'll be that for this homework. And have a good rest of your day.